Okay, we should be live. We should be live. Just to make sure. Let's see if that works. Live. And hopefully that gets rid of the chat thing on the screen. It should in a second. Anyway, hello everybody. Jeremy Adrian here. Welcome to the Final Fantasy XIV catch-up stream. The one that I was supposed to continue like multiple weeks back. Good to see everybody. I sure as hell have missed streaming. Real quick, I want to say hi to Diru in chat. Hello, Diru, who says, we can do crossword parties. Want to hang? Wait, you're saying there was an option to play crossword puzzles in the stream chat while waiting for the stream to go live? That's actually pretty cool. I didn't know that feature existed. And he says, hey man, good to see you back on Final Fantasy XIV. Good to see you too. This was supposed to continue about 2 weeks back, but because of work and everything, there's just so many games to play. For stuff that I had to just put streaming aside. Like I would even stream on Twitch during weekdays, but I had to stop that as well. And time's a ticking, y'all. The expansion Shadowbringers is going to be upon us, and time flies for MMOs. You think you have all the time in the world to catch up, like 20 levels or whatever, and a month just flies by, and you don't have the time. So I'm going to try and rush and get through Heavensward, and the Stormblood expansion, and then be prepared, get up to speed on the story and everything, which is exactly what I'm doing. I'm getting really frustrated with this MSQ, main story quest requirements for Final Fantasy. Before you get into Heavensward, you need to get rid of these main story quests in between, and my goodness, they are tedious. Like, I tried catching up a little bit yesterday just to remember where I'm at, and, so if I need to recap the story here, I can. And I'm like, damn it, there's so many threads of narratives going on. Like, for example, after, spoiler alert, by the way, after we bring, a bunch of refugees to our new base camp, and then things happen, you've got, some secret assassin, you have Iceheart going on, you've got all the other trial boss of the primals coming back, so... And every time the game gives you a story starter, they kind of just stop it halfway and then give you another story to go chase. So it's like, where am I with this thing? But anyway, I can tell you where I'm at. We are basically going to go grab Iceheart now. I think that's the name of the primal. So this is one more primal to fight, and it's going to lead into the Shiva fight, if I'm not mistaken. So let's go ahead and talk to Ilberd. We have discovered, too, that there's a traitor in the mist. Our mists, and we're gonna go and confront her. So real quick, I see chat moving. Deer says, I've been off for over a year. Wow, over a year on Final Fantasy? Yeah, I mean, are you planning to come back to Final Fantasy XIV, Diru, or are you playing another MMO? We have Elizabeth in chat says, hello Elizabeth, welcome to the stream. I'm gonna call you Liz. She says, I've only played this on the PS4. I'm a red mage. It's my favorite class. All the mages, like there's the blue mage, the black mage, and all the other different colored mages from the various Final Fantasy games of the year, those have proven popular with people. Like, I haven't played a caster class yet. Like, my main character here was a Lancer, because that's what I used for my review 2 years ago, and I enjoyed the Lancer. But when I bought Stormblood, everybody was like, you gotta try the Samurai, because it's unlike anything that you may have played, class archetype, in some of the MMOs that you've covered so far. So I did try the Samurai, and, yeah, I'm really enjoying it. So let's go and talk to Ilberd, and I'll catch up in chat whenever I see a new message popping up. And again, we are catching a traitor here. This way, my friends... Alright, so that's one of the refugees that we took in and sent off to go, well, she didn't need training because she's apparently a badass ninja. Very good, we must make haste. Moment, Captain. There's another matter which requires your attention, and most urgently, I fear. What is it? Imperial Squadron was observing departing Castrum Oriens. I know that name, but I can't remember. They march at speed. The South Shroud. Is there a war coming? Yeah, like I said, there's a lot of narrative threads here that I'm trying to remember what's happening in the story, so it may take some time to come back to me. Right, the Garleans, there we go. Okay, so we got Garleans jamming communications. Right, so we've got one high-ranking officer in the Immortal Flames that is a traitor or spy, and I believe they're working with the Garleans. So, and the Garleans got a new king too. I believe it's the former, rest in peace, king's son has taken over. So there's another threat of war, and this is all taking part before the Heavensward expansion. So in that same time, we're trying to get Ishgard back into, you know, the Alliance before all things go peach-shaped. And I've not played the first expansion, so I don't even know what the story there is. And I can't wait to find out. Anyway, let's go ahead and check in chat real quick while the story here's going on. Dearest has just finished the Stormblood expansion. Awesome. We've got Hyperjaw says hello. Hello, Hyperjaw. Liz says, I'm like the tiniest red mage. I love her. She's so cute. You're playing one of those, oh, what's the name? Lalafell? One of those, I can't remember the name of the small race here. Hyperjaw says, do you recommend World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy XIV? Damn, that's a hard one. I see, the thing is, people wanted a really straightforward answer to that. I can't give it because I play all of them. Like, people, I mean, just if you guys have been with my channel for a while, you'll notice that, you know, I've got video footages for all these MMOs because I play those MMOs. So it's hard for me to, you know, well, it depends. I mean, both these games have got great sort of, you know, group content if your end game is your thing. For raids, Final Fantasy's trials are excellent. The raiding scene is pretty good. Same for World of Warcraft. I think World of Warcraft has always emphasized its end game. You know, all the Mythic Plus dungeon runs and all the raids and everything. For story, I don't know. I follow World of Warcraft story a lot easier than I can Final Fantasy. That's because I guess I spent more time in WoW. Both are subscription based, so I don't know, man. If you're tired of WoW for a month, just come check out Final Fantasy XIV. I guess that's the best that I can do. Try out their free trial. They do have a free trial. Just give it a shot. See if you can take the core game story or the vanilla story. Because for Final Fantasy XIV, just like World of Warcraft, it's going to take a while before it builds up and you get to anywhere that's substantially good or fun. So the early games are going to be a little slow. In WoW's case, you know, you had to slog all the way to your 30s or 40s before things get fun, at least for me. Here in Final Fantasy, you know, you have a lot of drabby, fetchy type stuff in the early 30s and 40s. And the class combat system doesn't get, at least for me, doesn't get as fun until maybe, probably when I hit 50. And when I got all the skills that I needed, you know. So you may have to jump into a free trial and check that one out. So I'm going to find the Shinobi here at the Quarry Mill. And you'll notice that there's a lot of side quests in my game just popping up right now. Because I'm saving that in case I want to power level another job. Then I'm just going to go back and do all these side quests. Otherwise, I'm happy to just plow through all the way to the expansion and get my experience that way. Here, Shinobi, where are you at? Okay, meantime, while I'm running around looking for the Shinobi, I'm going to check in the chat real quick. Liz says, I'm a cute Lalafell. Oh, yeah, there you go. That's the name of it. We got Yuki in chat. Hello, Yuki. Yuki says, hey, yo, I'm just doing post-Stormblood pre-Shadowbringer stuff. Nice. Nice. Yeah, you, my sister, everybody else in the world has already finished Stormblood, and they've been telling me you're missing out. You know, you got to at least enjoy like a month of post-Stormblood expansion content before you jump into Shadowbringers just to see the transition, because that's important. I'm always late, you see, and the only two games that I'm not late for expansion transitions are maybe Lord of the Rings Online, Guild Wars 2, those type of games, because I'm kind of up to speed in current Elder Scrolls Online 2. So with Final Fantasy and World of Warcraft, like before Legion, I didn't know what the pre-expansion narrative, the transition story was, moving from one expansion to the other. So that's why I'm kind of rushing, trying to get to the end of Stormblood, so I know what's going on. And if you're going to review an expansion, you need to do it. We meet again, my friend. I have no Muntoi. No idea what that is tonic to offer this time, I'm afraid. As I believe you now, Imperial forces are in the South Shroud on a mission to destroy the jamming device. We must see to it that they do not succeed. Easy. I'll go kill him. Which is great too, because I need some combat to refresh my memory for my summarized rotations. Because Final Fantasy XIV, every time I come back after like 2-3 weeks of some time off, I get this huge ability bar of just skills staring back at me. I'm like, oh my god, what do I press? Okay. Garleans are in the vicinity of the Umdapur Keep. Let's hit there once. Yep. So the thing I love is just being able to fly around. Oh, this is actually pretty nearby. It's just right outside. And Diru says, same, Yuki. So yeah, that's cool. So all you guys in chat that are waiting for Shadowbringers, tell me your Shadowbringer plans. Are you guys going to roll one of the new races, the Hrothgar, the Viera? Are you guys going to straight away jump into, the new jobs? What's your game plan for Shadowbringers? What are you guys going to do first? Just finish a story on your main character, or just roll one of the new stuff? Because I'm not sure what I'm going to do either. I know I'm going to review the expansion, but I don't know the path. I haven't decided on what I want to do yet. We got Jusmel in chat. It says, welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you. I just said welcome back to you. Right back at you. For some reason. Welcome back to the stream, I suppose. Yuki says it doesn't help that before you can enter expansion, you need to do the in-between quests. Which is exactly what I'm on. And I got a funny story to tell you. Let me just get rid of this combat sequence real quick. There should be some fighting here. Yep, there we go. Okay, my philosophy here is anything that lights up on my bar, I'm hitting it. I got kind of bored of the, the Lancers flanking class mechanic, where you constantly head to the side and everything. I'm sure I do have an interrupt, I just forgot where it was. And I totally forgot to bring up my Chocobo, who is my stout companion when it comes to healing me. Oh yeah, do let me know, guys, if the audio is alright, if the in-game music and sound is too loud, let me know and I'll fix that stuff. Okay, where are we going? Right up here. Come out, Chocobo. There you are, Hufflepuff. Jiro says ninja all the way. He also says I'll try the gunblade. The gunblade looks cool because of, I mean, it is like it is an iconic thing, right? First and foremost, but it does look cool. I kind of like the look of the gunblade. Yuki says I will do story first and then some of the more serious PvE content, and yeah, there's a lot. Yeah, I'm gonna decide later what I'm gonna do. Here's the Shinobi. That was a most impressive showing, my friend. As you can see, we too have not been idle. The Ivy. Oh yes, the Ivy. What did I call her at the start of the stream? The Ice Heart? Yeah, I mixed it up. We'll receive no warning of our coming. I'm sure they already know. I'm on around 2.4-ish of the MSQ prerequisites, so it's going to take me, oh boy, I don't know, 10, 20 more quests before I actually get to Heavensward. I don't think I can get it tonight, but I'll push as far as I can, alright? Okay, let's pick up the next part. And you'll notice too, I am level 50, and I started this character in 2017, so I don't have the benefit of, new players that are starting on 2019. They have this road to 60 buff that you can absolutely just blaze to level 60 so fast. And here I am still stuck at level 51, and the amount of experience points that this MSQ quests are giving you is really sad. It's like 5,000 per quest, which I could totally stop and just go do my daily roulettes or whatever for dungeons and just rack up a bunch of XP. But in doing so, I still can't get into the expansion because all this stuff needs to get done first, as Yuki says. So the funny story is, I think a couple of days ago I got an email from Square Enix. And in it said Final Fantasy XIV spring sale or something like that. So I clicked on it and I went to the store. Final Fantasy store is not in game; it's on the website. And all the stuff that is on sale in the store are the story skipping potion stuff, which basically means you can buy a skip for all these prerequisites to jump straight into an expansion. And I'm like seeing that it's like 25% off or something. Like, oh, so tempting. But I can't. I promised myself I wouldn't do that because I need to know the story. Pray rejoin Lady Yugiri. She awaits you at the Hawthorne hut. I shall remain here and have a few words. Okay. And most of it's just this easy stuff to go here, kill this, talk to that. So that's why you can kind of understand my frustration, because it's not, you know, you're doing all this running around is not substantial. So I'm just waiting to build up all that angst from running around here and just see what the expansion has to offer. We have Jared in chat. Hello, Jared says, good morning. Is this the epic gunblade job type? No, I'm playing as the samurai right now. The gunblade comes out when the expansion comes out, which is this summer, so we'll be waiting for a while to see that. I'm playing as the samurai because, I don't know, I kind of liked it. I guess for Shadowbringers I'll try one of the new ones, gunblade maybe. Even the dancer just looks it just looks interesting. It's just one of those class archetypes you don't really see too much of. Yuki says samurai is a fun DPS job. Yeah, I kind of agree. Until I figure out I know what I'm doing, then I'll, you know, I don't want to be a useless person. Like if you watch the last stream, oh, what was that? Anonymous has just subscribed to the YouTube channel. Thank you, Anonymous. Unfortunately, that's a good name, by the way, so thank you, Anonymous. And No Life Till Thrash, too. Thank you for the sub. Welcome to the stream if you guys are watching. We got Samurai in chat. Actual Samurai in chat says, did you pre-order for the 30% earring? There's your answer. Yeah, I did. That's the first thing that I saw. I got the press release. They were like, if you pre-order, you will get this XP boost. I'm like, yes, hell yes, because I didn't pre-order any of the previous expansions. I just bought them on a sale. And, you know, I'm kind of missing out on some bonus XP. So I'm like, yeah, I'm totally pre-ordering this one. Oop, cutscene. Let's hope we have voice acting here. No. I am given to understand the mission was a success. It was. Jose C. Thank you, Jose. Thanks for the sub. Okay, now we're turning our attention back to Royale. I'm just going to call it that Immortal Flame Traitor. So she's going to be meeting someone, and I think Raban's going to be there. It's time to close this. My countrymen and I will wait in the shadows. Tread warily, my friends. Okay, here we go. Big confrontation. And I think this is going to lead into one of the trials, I think. Which is great, because you guys get to see me fail live on stream, because I have not read, and I haven't seen any of the guides for the upcoming dungeons or trials, so I'm just going to go in blind. Which is always, again, the best thing to do. Until the group starts shouting at you, which doesn't happen here in the Japanese data centers for whatever reason. People just, even in the last one when I was fucking up so bad, like, because it's, I'm playing with Japanese players, like, nobody types in chats like, oh, you fucked up, or you suck, oh, get out of here. In the Japanese server, if you fuck up, everybody keeps quiet and just hope for the best, you know? I've not seen people getting kicked, I've not seen any anger in chat, it's just all hush-hush, whatever. You know, and I've played enough MMOs on the, what was that? Jumira123 is now following on Twitch, awesome. But yeah, I've played enough of MMOs on the American and European servers to know what happens when you mess up really bad. Okay, Royale is somewhere around here. Okay, let's storm in. This guy's ready to go, and so am I. I really like her outfit, though. This Shinobi from across the sea. She came from the land of the Garleans, and I don't think I've seen her face. Yeah, she's always had it covered. There we go. That's the traitor right there on the right. Flame Marshal Eileen Royale, you're under arrest for treason and espionage. You were followed, you bloody fool. Nice teeth. Was that a grin or a smile or... Damnation. I should use that every time something goes wrong in real life. Ah, it's a trap. What, is she gonna turn into some uber warrior now? You are unarmed, my lady, and scarcely garbed for battle, but if you wish to fight, you're welcome to try. Something tells me... Wait, what's the meaning of this, Captain? Would you arrest me for strolling in the Twelveswood? And last I looked, there was no crime, and neither was conversing with passing strangers. You would feign ignorance, then. Very well. If you do think of something to say, there will be plenty of time to say it later. Now, come quietly, or I shall make you wish you had. Fight, fight, fight. Such a tease. I will offer you no struggle. After all, I have naught to hide. Unless there's a twist. She's actually innocent in all of this. I guess not. That was easy. After all the trouble we went through, like stalking her, like before I went live, the story was like stalking her a bunch of times, and huh. Okay, well, let's check it in chat real quick. Yuki says, I use it for the side jobs. I assume you're talking about the earring. Jared says, whoa, a samurai. Yep, this is a samurai job that you can get if you buy the Stormblood expansion. Liz says, I haven't played in a while. I can't afford the fee right now. I'm so sad. Don't worry about it. I mean, the thing with Final Fantasy XIV is, you know, unlike other MMOs, you can afford to take a break and come back, because I think a lot of Final Fantasy players feel the same way. They know that Final Fantasy XIV is going to be here for quite some time. I think they're in good hands. They're in a really stable position as an MMO. So you can save as much money and time as you want and then come back, because I think Final Fantasy XIV is safe, if you know what I mean. So it's not going anywhere. Summer says, the Red Mage is also a lot of fun. It's the second time somebody brought that up in chat, man. So, yeah, I guess I'm going to have to make time for that. Yuki says, the amount of voice acting increases a lot when you get to Heavensward. Yes, I like to hear that. Really, I do. Because I don't like reading it out like that, because everybody in chat, you know, feels uncomfortable with it, I'm sure. Because I'm not, like, the best reader of stuff. So I'd rather have the NPCs do that job. Jared says, Final Fantasy really looks epic. At the time, I was reluctant and picked up Guild Wars 2 and Star Wars: The Old Republic. But Guild Wars 2 is too overwhelming with menus, and Star Wars bright colors reminded me of WoW, Quel'Thalas, and did look Star Wars to me. Huh. That's interesting. See, I'm sure a lot of people know this, but I'm quite diehard Guild Wars 2, so what was overwhelming about Guild Wars 2? Menus? The UI, you mean? Guild Wars 2, I mean, when I first started playing it, it wasn't kind of new player friendly. I had to really dig around for information and, you know, figure things out, but I stuck with it, and Guild Wars 2, I highly recommend Guild Wars 2. Star Wars, on the other hand, bright colors. I can't help you there, though. You know, you should have tried Wildstar while it was still live. That game was colorful. I think it was even more colorful than World of Warcraft. Samurai says there is a 7-day free play offer now at the moment for returning. Nice. Yeah, so anyone in chat who hasn't played Final Fantasy XIV yet, you can go and check out the free trial. It's on right now. Give it a shot. Alright, Yukiri, let's just discuss what just happened. Even a warrior of Royale's renown could have not hoped to escape by force. Despite her claims, her surrender does not bespeak innocence, but an awareness that her position is untenable. With the ivy thus uprooted, it is to be hoped that the tendrils she entwined around the immortal flames will gradually wither and die. See, I don't think so. I don't think she's the big baddie that we've been chasing at all. I think she's just a means to an end, because I've seen the ivy. They gave us a tease, like this ice-looking lady, which disappeared and never came back. Mayhap the people of Ul'dah will have the grand company they deserve. But let us speak of the present. If I may ask, what will you do now? I want to get to the expansion, if you don't mind. Which I hope is what I'm saying in very nice language. So the Scions seek a way into the Ice Heart set. Ice Heart, yep. That's the trial, I'm sure. Okay, we're heading back to the Rising Stones then. Let's go. Yugiri has got away from me, and I do have that bound to home. I hope. Rabbidan's Toll, yep. Okay, check it in chat. Yuki says the story behind the development of Final Fantasy XIV is always an interesting tale for an MMORPG. I guess I agree with that. Wasn't there this documentary thing about Final Fantasy XIV and the whole thing about launching the first iteration and failing so hard and, you know, killing off the game, breaking it down, rebuilding it again, and it's a great success story, especially for a large franchise like this. And we also have to acknowledge that it's Square Enix, they have the money, and because Final Fantasy, the fan base for the franchise and the IP is so strong that they knew whatever the monetary risk, they were going to pull it off, and they could afford to fail. See, a lot of other MMOs have one chance, and when you mess it up, you're gone. And especially in this decade, players are more unforgiving, you know? If an MMO launches with a lot of problems and everything, you don't get second chances anymore with MMOs. That's you know, my observation. Like, last decade, you could get away with a lot of things. I guess the big exception is probably the Elder Scrolls Online. Like, similar to Final Fantasy XIV, shitty launch, panned globally by critics everywhere, and they just like, okay, yep, we agree, it sucks. Hustled quietly, and over the years just turned into a solid MMO. So can happen, but if you have the money and the fan base, you know, to support you when you do it, it's a lot easier. All right, Minfilia, what do you got? Welcome back. I understand that Elfinod had a task for you. May I ask what it was? We're rushing to get to the expansion, milady. Now, if you'd please send me on my way to go kill the Ice Heart so I can move on. Charges of treason and espionage against Eileen Ruel. I can scarce believe it. Could there not have been some manner of misunderstanding? No, it availeth not to dwell on it. Whether the truth may be, we must trust the authorities to uncover it. Let us speak of another matter. I am pleased to report that we have made progress in our efforts to find a way into Iceheart's sanctum. Okay, yeah, I'm not gonna play any of these. Oh, actually, hang on. Is that an upgrade for my samurai? No, it's not. I'm gonna go with the this thingy that they give you that you can then just sell to a vendor for gold, which is always a good choice. Alright, next up. A simple plan. As you may recall, Iceheart used the Etherite in the depths of Snowcloak to teleport a short distance to the west, most likely to a sanctuary of some description. It is there we suspect she means to summon Shiva using the crystal she stole from the House Fortemps caravan. The heretics believe that they are bringing about the second coming of their patron saint. Right, so whatever these local tribes here, they've got this big obsession of trying to summon one of their deities or gods as a savior for whatever reason. We've stopped the Garlean Empire, you know, us, the Scions of the Seven Dawn or whatever, and people still aren't happy. They still want to bring their gods and deities back, and they all end up being primal fights, which is just dumb. Dumb! Okay, so the issue here is they can't find the location of the Aetherite. Theory is she destroyed a second Aetherite upon arrival. Or Etherite, sorry. Etherite. Ether. A reckless, desperate measure, but also an effective one. After discussing the matter at length with Urianger, we have concluded that we lack the expertise. All that whip wap wap wap. Okay, we have an expert on Etherite coming, and we'll be able to talk to her, so let's go and wait at the gates. Okay, let's go ahead and check in chat. I see that moving. Just gonna mute the mic for a bit, clear my... Okay, where we are. Yuki says, you don't hear a studio working on 2 MMOs at the same time. And Jared says, yeah, the menus for shops and abilities, the UI was just too busy, and I was there within the first 2 weeks, and every other day patches, and just too much because I was in AOC after I left WoW during Cataclysm. AOC. Remind me again what AOC was? See, the first AOC that comes to my mind is Ashes of Creation, but that wasn't out at the time. Samurai says the crossplay between PlayStation and PC, I think, went a long way with helping the game grow. Lots of people able to play together from both sides. That's a good point, yeah. Yeah, I think Final Fantasy, I wouldn't say they paved the way, but they really made a marker, put a marker down for MMOs being on console and being able to cash in on that. And now you look at all the other Asian MMOs coming out of Korea, and they all want to do the same thing. Let's go to console, let's go to console. BDO's pushed it already. Terra's pushed it already. Hell, even Skyforge has pushed it on consoles already. So, yeah, it definitely paved the way there. I think around the same year, Neverwinter got pushed to consoles as well. I mean, that was the period. That was really the console, welcome to console MMO generation. Okay, here we are. La 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 la. Please, voice. Oh. It's an interesting carriage. That's an interesting looking person. Oh, that's the one we were waiting for, I see. I thought it was the person riding the chocobos that we're gonna talk to. Oh, hello then. Fierce looking thing.
Minfilia, am I right?
Voice.
None other. I bid you welcome to Revenant's Toll, and thank you for traveling so far on such short notice.
As if I could ever say no to Urianger.
Moonbreeder is an accomplished Sharlayan scholar and an authority on Etherite technologies. She has played an invaluable role in our search for a means to capture Ascian souls.
Charmed, I'm sure.
Right, that name was hard to remember. Moonbreeder. Anyway, I just looked over my OBS, and guys, really sorry about the webcam. If you see my chair, like on top of my head, the top end of my chair just spazzing in and out, like in a ghostly form, that's because of the green screen software that I use right now. Like, I don't have a green screen. I'm actually using a webcam software that artificially removes the background, and it's not perfect because it's still in early access. So if I move too much, yeah, that happens. That sort of ghosting in and out. So I do apologize if that is distracting, but I can't get a green screen right now, proper green screen, so I'm just gonna have to use that. So before we move on to story, I'm gonna check in chat real quick. Summer says I read that already, right? Diru says, be right back, just gonna do a quick raid. Go, man, if you guys have raids to do, you guys got dailies to do, go do it. Me catching up to Shadowbringers isn't really worth your time. I'm just here to hang out and chat with whoever's that's here and just have a good time. Don't worry about it, you're not gonna miss much. Samurai says, run so smooth too. I was on Star Wars earlier doing some dailies. It's just so janky by comparison, built on that horrible engine. What is that Star Wars engine? I forgot. But yeah, I wished 2011, right? SWTOR came out. At the time, everybody was, I remember, because I had the magazine spread. I was subscribed to PC Gamer way back in the day, and they were all praising the engine and everything, and I'm like, oh, it still feels kind of weird. Jared says, Age of Conan, right, thank you. Yeah, thanks. Kind of slipped my mind. Age of Conan. Because right now, AOC for me is the short for Ashes of Creation. Yeah, Age of Conan at the time was big, yep. Iborgan Adventures Unchained. Love the elegance of the music, even without the voices. The game has to have good mood music. Summer says, yeah, the music is one of the best things. We got Lux in chat. Hello, Lux. It says, this is what a voices Legend of Zelda game would look like. A voice Legend of Zelda game. I'm ashamed to admit this, but I've not played a Zelda game. Not even Breath of the Wild, even while I have a Nintendo Switch. I don't have Breath of the Wild, so I've never played a Zelda game, actually, so I don't know anything about Zelda, so I don't know if the games were voiced or not, but that's interesting to know that it isn't voiced. And Summer says, what's the program using for the non-green screen? It's called XSplit VCam. I'm sure you guys are familiar with XSplit. It's kind of like OBS, but a little more, I don't know what you want to call it, premium, I suppose. So they released a VCam software that is a cheap option for people that stream in places that you can't put a green screen. So I've got a bookshelf on top of me, which is why I can't do a green screen here. Okay, moving on. Let us return to the Rising Stones at once. We have much to discuss. So we've got our expert on Etherite, and as soon as we're done talking, I think we should be doing the primal fight. Now, the thing that worries me is I'm not sure if you guys can see the screen on the top right. That's my local time. It's 10:38 p.m. So being on the Japanese data center, I don't know if I've passed prime time on Sunday night or not, so hopefully queues will pop and there will be a queue. Yuki says the music got me into Final Fantasy XIV. Yeah, I wanted to go back and talk about the music some. I really like, see, even is, I think my sister is in chat and she's gonna agree with this on me. Because my sister, I've said many times, is the Final Fantasy person in the family, and when she plays, I usually watch or whatever, and the songs over the years have got in my head, like the Memories of Life song, which was, I can't remember what Final Fantasy, but Final Fantasy X, the game, that had the best music for me. Oh, I forgot the name of the song, but I just love those Final Fantasy soundtracks, you know? Or Japanese game soundtracks in general. Like, there's another game that my sister plays, I think it's Kingdom Hearts, which has this singer, Utada Hikaru, if I'm not mistaken. So I've heard a lot of the songs over the years, and they're all stuck in my head. I can still remember the choruses and everything. And that all comes down to sort of like, you know, good music production, you know, good audio production, and good sound. And it kind of makes the game sometimes, because when you hear good music, you sort of build that muscle memory to a game visually. Oh, this is a big meeting.
God, it's been ages.
Oh, longer, sister.
Sister?
A joyous reunion indeed.
Well, of course it is. Moon and I are like twin sisters.
Save in appearance and aptitude.
Everyone, if I could have your attention. We have with us an esteemed guest who has come from Sharlayan to assist us. I bid Moonbreeder join us here that she might share with us her extensive knowledge of Etherites. Also, as many of you are already aware, she has been overseeing our research into white auracite, a sample of which she has been good enough to bring with her.
Well, I had to come, didn't I? You'd have to be bloody daft to turn your nose up at a chance like this. Where better to conduct my final tests than a land so steeped in ether you can taste it?
She sounds like a junkie.
'Tis plain the passage of the years hath done little to dampen thy youthful spirits. And nothing at all to reform thy youthful manner.
Oriange, where in the hells have you been hiding?
Unhand me.
I come all this way, and that's what you have to say to me. I much preferred when you were pleading with me to drop everything and hurry to your side. What was it you said? None save thee can satisfy this need.
What are they, lovers?
Go on.
Thine artless attempts to misrepresent mine all too innocent motives do thee little credit. Mine intent, as well thou knowest, was but to impress upon thee the gravity of the circumstance. Lest thou doubt, a deiform entity shall shortly be summoned, save if thou and no other grantest my compeers thine aid.
You still haven't found it, then? Your missing Etherite?
We have not. No. We know that Iceheart teleported to an Etherite not far from the first. Yet even after careful analysis, we could not locate a second beacon. We now suspect that the heretics destroyed the second Etherite to impede our pursuit. Our allies continue to scour Snowcloak for Iceheart's sanctuary, but we have no guarantee that they will find it. Yet it must be found, for even now Iceheart prepares to call upon Saint Shiva.
I'm sorry, but if the Etherite's been destroyed, then that's that. Although, you're absolutely sure she used the first Etherite, are you? She didn't just use teleportation magics?
One of our own bore witness to her escape. I can say with absolute certainty that Iceheart used the Etherite.
In that case, there might be a way, so long as the ethereal current is still flowing.
Truly? How?
We use the current to recreate the beacon. As you know, Etherites are a bit like lighthouses. We use them to reconstitute our physical forms when crossing the ethereal sea. Without them, we'd lose all sense of direction and our essence would dissipate. However, we don't rely solely on these beacons. There are currents of ether which flow between them, currents which help guide us to our destination. Now, these currents will gradually dwindle away to nothing if an Etherite is destroyed. But if even a sluggish flow remains, we could theoretically use it to direct a surge of concentrated ether towards the void left by the beacon, and thereby fill it up again.
Like opening the floodgates to fill a dry riverbed. Though, correct me if I'm wrong, but would we not need a veritable reservoir of ether?
In concert, we might manage to channel a sufficient volume, yet that is not my chief concern. To direct the flow of so great a volume of ether with the requisite precision would be a nigh impossible task in itself.
I barely succeeded in facilitating travel to an unattuned beacon. That which you describe sounds considerably more difficult.
And dangerous. Every person who has attempted to teleport in this fashion has died in the process. They, however, did not have white auracite at their disposal. I can use it to channel all the ether you can give me into the Etherite. However, white auracite cannot retain ether for an extended period of time, so we would need to infuse it immediately beforehand.
Gotta be honest, guys, I was lost like 5 minutes ago.
Just so you know, I'd confidently give this plan better than even odds of success. And if the worst comes to worst, your people won't suffer.
Though it risked the lives of our best and brightest, we have not the time to seek other options. If the ethereal current still flows, we shall carry out Moonbreeder's plan.
That's the spirit. Let's roll the dice.
Ooh, that was a long one. Lots of exposition there about how we're gonna channel Etherite into creating a second beacon pool thingamajiggy. But I do like that. I do like that they take their time with these things for people that really want to soak it in. I saw chat moving a lot, and I'm gonna just check in on that real quick. Sorry guys, I didn't want to interrupt the cutscene there because story is important to me. I just wanted to sit through that. Where are we? Jared says, "Wow, no Zelda in your life." No Zelda in my life, unfortunately. Maybe in the future. We got Lux in chat. Hello, Lux. Lux says, when you have time, emulate... Oh, yeah, I read that already about Zelda, right? Emulate the Ocarina of Time. Is that how I pronounce that? It says that shit's timeless. Summarizes the music when you fight Ramuth is just amazing. Also says, was in the trail last night, spaced out for a good while, waiting for a tank. Jared says, loving your character look, reminds me of the Advent Children Final Fantasy XIV movie. Yeah, I don't remember where this outfit is from, but it's definitely from one of those Final Fantasy games. I don't know if it's a movie, but I think it's one of the Final Fantasy iconic outfits or whatever that you get for subscribing for 6 months straight or something like that. Lim in chat. Our Lim, hey, he says, yes, so glad I caught the stream. Welcome. Good to have you on, bro. Welcome back. Summer says, Blade and Soul has great music. I was playing Blade and Soul for about a month last year, and I do like the oriental sounds. Like, there's 2 MMOs that I played. I think one of them was called Revelation Online. I'm not sure if that game's still around, but Revelation Online was, well, I guess I can just call it what it is. It's a carbon copy of games like a combination of Terra and BNS and you know, those kind of games, and it's made in China. It's by my.com. The one thing that I did enjoy from Revelation was actually the music. Those oriental fantasy musics are just great. It's like the first time when I got into Mists of Pandaria for World of Warcraft. I think I've told this story many times. When Pandaria came out, I was playing Lord of the Rings Online, and we were all making fun of WoW, like, oh, look, the Panda expansion, Kung Fu Panda, right? And many years later, when I started playing WoW and for the review, and I got to Mists of Pandaria, it just blew my mind. Everything from the architecture, the stories, a little bit of the culture. When you read the dialogue and you learn about the Jinyu and the pandas and the music, man. Mists of Pandaria's music is still one of my favorite things ever. The Jade Forest area. Alright, already informed Alphinaud of our plan to recreate the beacon in the manner Moonbrida described. And let's go. Wish to meet me at Snowcloak. Okay, cool. Oh, thank you, Minifilla. Well, let's go. Hopefully, the fight's coming soon. Jared says best music is Final Fantasy X, X2, and 12 for Final Fantasy. Lim says hi. Agreed that music plays a major part in the gaming experience. Yeah, I was going to talk about that, and then I just trailed off, right? Now, for me, music is huge, like soundtracks and everything. I find I'm more attached to either a movie or a fantasy franchise or a game if the soundtrack is great. Like, off the top of your head, think of like some of the best games and movies. You could just hum the soundtrack. Jurassic Park for movies or whatever. You know, Lord of the Rings. For games, the Skyrim theme, the Dragonborn theme, then that kind of thing for MMOs. I could hum the Guild Wars 2, you know, main theme in my sleep. Lord of the Rings Online. You just gotta have a great soundtrack because it builds that sort of nostalgia over the years. And when you hear that music again after like 5 years of having not played an MMO, and when you hear the main theme again, you're like, oh shit, that was my life. I gotta go back. I want to go back because I heard the music. So yeah, I think it's important. If I was ever to get in the business of making an MMO, I'll put a good budget into, you know, visuals and aesthetics and definitely sound. I want people to know what the game is by just hearing the first 5 riff notes of whatever the soundtrack is. That's important to me. Samurai says, all the music from the primal battles really in this game just rocks. I've heard a few, and I do know, like recently they've been pushing out this, you know, these official bands, Final Fantasy bands that play all the rock music and everything. That's pretty cool. Yuki says, I love the English voiceovers, the voice actors. Yeah, they're, you know, oh, hey, look, it's my sister. Hello. What's up? Yeah, they do a really tough job because when you look at Final Fantasy XIV's dialogue, right? And one of my friends who played Final Fantasy XIV in real life, he was like, I couldn't get into it because of the style of the dialogue and the language. the way they speak. If you've watched the stream or if you've played the game yourself, you know what I'm talking about. You compare that to the casual English of some of the other fantasy MMOs. Final Fantasy XIV has this very, oh, I don't know what the official term for it is. I'm not a linguist. Shakespearean, thespian-y dialogue that they speak, right? Thyself and all these things. So people who don't like that can't really get into it. It's like the first time one of my friends started reading the Lord of the Rings, the books, and he's like, I can't get into this shit because, you know, the language is just too hard to grasp, or it's hard to follow. It's not something I would read, or it's not something I would speak, so therefore it's hard for me to follow. There's been some feedback about that with regards to Final Fantasy XIV's dialogue. So that could be a barrier for some players. So for the voice actors, they have to portray it in a way that is welcoming for everybody, casuals, new players, people who don't really care about that stuff. So they have a very hard job, the English voice actors, because in Japanese, it could be different. I don't know. We got Nap Gamer in chat. Hello, Nap Gamer. Sorry if I'm getting to your message late. This must have been during that long exposition dialogue. It says the prerequisite quest to Heavensward. Heavensward will take a while, bro. I know what I'm in for. I've done the research. I've looked at this website that had all the prerequisite quests listed out, so I know the journey I'm in for, and it's a long one. Summary says a good idea is to pull up the page that lays out all the quests. Yeah, I do have that actually, but it's not on right now. What was that? SK1Rons has just subscribed to the YouTube channel. Thank you, SK1Rons. If you're watching the stream, or if you're watching, or if you subbed from one of the other videos. Liz says, anyone know any good MMOs to play to heal a broken heart? To heal a broken heart? Oh no, Liz. What's happened? MMOs. Any MMO, honestly, can heal a broken heart. Because you're playing it online, you're meeting new people, you're playing with friends, and we all play games, especially MMOs, to escape real life, you know, because we live, all of us MMO players, we live our second lives online. Third lives, fourth lives. I have more than 20 lives that I live online because of all the MMOs I play, and every time I log into one, it just transports me. I've got different friends in different games, and each time I'm on, you know, I just do things, and, you know, I get over stuff in real life, so pick an MMO with a nice community. You want my opinion? Guild Wars 2 is one of the best MMO communities I've ever been a part of. Lord of the Rings Online is great. I think any community that you find that with a good group of people that you hang out and play all the time with, you know, they can get you over any hardships in life. I strongly believe that, you know, these friendships that you make online. So don't worry about it. Just keep playing games, keep talking to people, you'll be fine. Summer says, help me a lot. Jared says, whoa, she has a hungry look. Yeah, that Moon Brita. Yeah, she really... Moon Brita, yeah. She really has that fierce look, I agree. Okay, let's get this party started. Good to see you. I was starting to wonder if you were having second thoughts. Me? Second thoughts? Never. Captain Ilbert sends his regards, by the way. He attends to the interrogation of... Okay, the spy, the traitor. But I shall not distract you. We can discuss the IV upon your return. I trust that. By which I mean to say, the others are waiting for us at the Etherite. Fight, fight, fight. Come on, let's go. I think the next one is called something Theater or something like that. I don't know. Damn it. That block of ice just reminded me of Game of Thrones, which is today. Game of Thrones is back. That looks like the ice version of the Iron Throne. Any Game of Thrones fans here in chat? That's cool. Why am I not a part of that? Why is my character not taking part in that thing? Ah, it worked, I think. Try tuning to the Etherite now. Feel free to feel the current to try to locate the beacon. Okay, so this is where I come in. This is my moment. I've been staring and watching for too long. There we go. That's the shot that I wanted. We've done all we can. From now, let us withdraw. When your final preps are ready, you must seek out the beacon we have created. By the grace of the 12, you arrive safely. You must stop Iceheart before she summons Shiva. Alright, we're getting closer. We're getting closer. I'll call it a win if we manage to get the fight done tonight. So that leaves me with, I think, 2 more. 1 more dungeon and 1 more trial after this. And then I'm completely free to just plow my way through to the Heavensward expansion. We cannot ignore the possibility that our actions have alerted Iceheart to our plans. Should that be the case, she may attempt to hasten the completion of the summoning ritual. Knowing little of this saint, I cannot say if your own strength will suffice, but I encourage you to call upon your allies. Oh, it's now! We're doing it! It's right now. Before you assemble your party, please speak with that knight. I believe he has a message for you from Sir Aymeric. Jolly good. Madam, Sir Aymeric regrets that he could not be here in person and asks that I read you this letter. Ishgard faces an unprecedented threat, yet in our hour of need, it is not her knights who stand poised to defend her. You, the warrior of light, savior of Eorzea, your deeds this day shall not be forgotten. Where others would flee, you chose to remain. Are you really reading this to me right before my fight? This is cool. Where others would falter, you rise to the challenge. Where others would use their gift for selfish ends, you will yours in service to a greater cause. May Halone, or Halone, however you pronounce that, bless you with good fortune. Cool, thank you. Thank you. I guess this is it. This is Ishgard acknowledging my greatness. I expect to be coming into the expansion feeling all kingly, queenly in my case. Okay, let's check in chat before I join in here. Jared says, me, Age of Conan, soon to join Secret Role Legends. Yeah, have you been playing Secret Role Legends? Let me know what you think, because I'm a lifetime subscriber over there, and I've got my own thoughts about it. I think it's Secret World is still one of my favorite IPs and has one of the best MMO stories ever. But everything about the game, content-wise, is kind of dropping and dropping because they haven't done anything. And most definitely want to dive into Final Fantasy. Yeah, I suggest anybody watching that has the urge to, maybe I want to try Final Fantasy. There's a 7-day trial. Go check it out. Ooh, my sister is here to save the day, and she's brought friends. Cool, thank you. Neb says Secret World optimization is do bad. It deterred me away. The Secret World, it's not the best looking game, I'll admit that. So yeah, I got no way to defend that. Jared says, plus big D&D and Warhammer tabletop, very interested in Neverwinter, though I might wait till the new patch update. I think the best time to jump into Neverwinter will be after the expansion launches, definitely, because it's going to be very new player friendly. Like a lot of the people that I follow, they have all been playing Neverwinter for a long time. They've done all the modules, and a lot of the people are saying that this new expansion is going to ruin the game for veterans, because all that hard work that they've done, grinding the previous mods, grinding the gears, all of that's going to be kind of like Neverwinter is pushing the big reset button, basically. So they're not happy with it. So if new players jumping in after the expansion, I think it's the best time to do it. Diru says, I'm wearing Cloud's outfit. So that's what this is, Cloud's outfit. And everybody that... I'm not that big of a Final Fantasy fan, so you can hang me out to dry for not knowing that. I have no problem. Nap says, Final Fantasy IV cutscenes are the level of Metal Gear cutscenes. Okay, confession. I've not played any Metal Gear game. Again, I've watched my sister play them, but I've not played any Metal Gear game. Unfortunately. Arlim says, the outfit is from the FF7 Advent Children movie, which I don't think I've watched. Nab says that's Cloud's outfit from Advent Children. Thanks for confirming that, guys. Just, I thought so. I'm a big fan. Man, we have a lot of Final Fantasy people in chat. Like, you guys should pop into my Discord and I'll create like a Final Fantasy room and you guys can educate me on all things Final Fantasy. Nick says, hey, long time no see. Hello, Nick. Sorry if I'm getting to your message late. Good to see you. Yeah, long time indeed. Nab says, gotta grab all the blue quests, bro. They unlock dungeons and stuff. Yeah, I'm not really... I'll do that when I've got free time. Right now, all I want to do is just get to the expansion, get ready for Shadowbringers, and I'll come back and do all the other stuff I've got Co-Ghost in chat, says hello, hello Co-Ghost. I'm gonna move chat along now, guys. Guess I'm really far behind. Samurai says it's Cloud's outfit. Yuki says I've read the books. What books? Oh, Game of Thrones, right? Jared says Game of Thrones. Most definitely, my wife and her mom got me into the shows. Nice. Well, yeah, I'm pumped for Game of Thrones. So, okay. Hang on. Let me talk to my sister's party. Who I've totally ignored in chat right now. Hang on, guys. So my objective right now is use the duty finder to confront Shiva in the Afa. Oh wait, pronounce that right. Amphitheater hard. Okay, so my sister and her friends are already in there, waiting for me, and I need to figure out how do I get there. No duty has been selected. That's odd. Yeah, I can't go. Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah, okay, I'm ready. Okay, so we're gonna do it. We're gonna do this. Yeah, it's really handy to have your sister play Final Fantasy XIV. So when you get to these parts where you need like the manpower to get stuff done, you could just ask a family member to help out. So this is really handy. Alright. Nab says you need 8 for the fight. We have... well, it's 4 of us. We'll just pick up 2 more DPS. And it's cool too, because I think... I think we've got heals and tanks covered. And of course, I did not read any guide about this fight, so I have no idea what to expect. It's gonna be fun. Is that her? Is that Iceheart?
You should never
Ooh.
have come here, warrior of light. I labor only to forge a lasting peace.
I like her voice.
A peace you would deny us out of ignorance and blind faith. No matter. If it is our fate to be at odds, then it is mine to strike you down.
Oh, there goes that headache again.
Whom gods and men have forsaken shall be the instruments of our own deliverance. Partake of my flesh. Fill this vessel with your light. Walk amongst your brothers and sisters once more. Oh, Saint Shiva, still the hatred within our hearts and bless us with eternal grace.
Damn. I guess this is the moment that all Final Fantasy fans, the first time they did this, they were like screaming, like, "Oh my God, it's Shiva!" Yeah, I don't remember Shiva from any of the previous games. I know she existed. I've probably seen her when I was young, but the only primal, I think I've said this a long time ago, the only one that I remember visually is Bahamut. That's it. Shiva, I just remember by name. Okay, check it in chat. Neb says you can 4-man it unsync. I don't think we're doing that. I think we've got a full group. Neb says haha. Lim says Shiva, we have no guide is the best way to learn. I hope you're right. And Neb says make sure to do a pose when she freezes you. What the hell does that mean? Do a pose? Oh boy. Okay, watch me fail hard, guys. I should have a counter up on the stream for how many times I die. Don't know if there's ads. I don't know if there's AoE. Okay, that looks bad. I'll get out of that. Ah, I see. I recognize that mechanic from only like 20 other MMOs. If I get the ice shard on me, I'm gonna run away from the group, or it's gonna explode in the AoE. Pretty much. See, the benefit of... That does not look good. Okay, no, that didn't work either. She's down like 70%. That's not bad. Should probably focus on building my samurai resources too. That. Rise to join the chorus, my brothers. That does not sound good. Yeah, are we doing ads? Usually the tanks will like mark people, but I guess we'll just whack them. I got a bunch of AoEs that I can do. Spam AoEs for now. Yeah, my sister's healing this, and I think she's doing a good job. Good job! My health is only at 70%, not going down. That's good. I take that back. I take that back. I'm down like 40... No, 50% now. 60%. I can't see anything. I'm panicking. Nah, we got this. You don't scare me, Shiva. Your reputation may have... Wait, what? Do I have to like jump out? Oh, the music just changed, and that's some sick background music. Is that someone singing? Is that a rock band? What? This is what Final Fantasy is all about. And this is something, this is an experience you won't find in any other MMO. I just hope after the stream I don't get a copyright notice from Universal Music or whoever owns this background music and like, you can't monetize it. Oh shoot, what? No, I'm not ready to die. It's my first try. Okay, if I'm stuck in the ice, some people have to get me out apparently. Ooh, that hurts. Second wind. That's my oh shit button. What's that, 10%? We got this. Boom! So long, Shiva. Nice to see you. Alright, so I've got 75 elegant whatever stones that was that You can trade for gear. No gear, no loot box. I keep forgetting, like, I wonder if there's loot or not. Okay, heading back out. So that was done. That was fun. It was short, but fun. Yeah, so that's just like, this isn't even the first expansion. Like, I'm not in the first expansion, so you can imagine, you know, you'll have all these endgame fights like these trials, and then as you move your way up, you get better and better and better. And, you know, post the first expansion, you've got all these Final Fantasy crossovers and, you know, collaborations with stuff.
Fool. Blind, bloody fool.
Are you talking to me, or...?
You, of all people, should understand the suffering war begets. That no sacrifice is too great if it brings an end to the violence. Mine is the righteous cause.
That's what they all say.
You fight in a war you do not understand. A pawn of liars and schemers. And they are no less ignorant than you, following the creed of their fathers without question, never thinking to ask why. Trapped in a delusion of their own creation, and blind to the truth.
Wise words.
Warrior of light, redemption is not beyond us. We who walk before may lead those who walk after. Seek the keeper of the lake. See with eyes unclouded. Do not squander Mother's gift. Hear, feel, think.
What an interesting little conversation there. I'm always surprised, like, at the end of these fights, like, these people summon, you know, primals that we... Oh. Uh-oh. Here's the one antagonist, consistent antagonist.
And so the vessel withdraws. A predictable outcome.
Wasn't expecting that for a voice.
Nevertheless, La Habrea will be pleased. How unfortunate.
Yeah, it's like you summon a primal, you kill him, and after the fight, you have a little lighthearted exchange, like, and then they're done. It's over. Okay, I saw chat moving a lot. I'm gonna go ahead and check it in chat real quick. Mitael, sorry if I got your name wrong, says most Malaysians play on Tonberry. Masamune, right? I believe so. Way back when I started this character for my review 2 years ago, I tried getting on Tonberry, but the server was full, and Final Fantasy has this restriction thing where you can't, you know, the server's locked, you can't create new characters, and then it unlocks once in a while, and it's a very short window, like, just no time to transfer over, so we decided to go to Atomos, if that's how you pronounce that, and yeah. But it doesn't matter anyway, like, as long as there's like a small amount of people that plays, we're happy. Anyway, I'm gonna check in on the in-game chat real quick. Yeah, so that's cool of them. My sister and her friends, they were like, yeah, they helped me out here, and now they're gonna go do their own thing. So that's pretty cool. Okay, let's see, where did I last stop? Lim says, haha, you're right, lots of people went nuts when we saw her. Yeah, I would too. I mean, if, you know, if I was a real hardcore fan of the franchise and this long-standing sort of character shows up in the MMO, yeah, I would be pretty happy or excited, and I'll go nuts myself. Lim also says, yeah, most Malaysians play on their servers. I play on North America Behemoth 2. Oh, so you're in 2 different servers. Damn. Jared says, major MMO points. Discovering mechanics of dungeons and raids should be genuine. Love the in-game cinematics. Harkens to Final Fantasy X. Love the mount. Reminds me of the mechs in the opening scene. Yeah, the mech mount you can get... I'm not sure if this is a spoiler, but you can get from playing through the main story. The vanilla main story up to the level 50 point. But yeah, for discovering dungeon mechanics and stuff, whenever I'm reviewing a game, I want to do that. Then once I've you know, completed a review or I've made that MMO my home, then yeah, I'll go into learning dungeons and mechanics and watching boss fights and everything. Like the WoW, my sequence of playing World of Warcraft for the review, like Fat Boss TV just became my #1 WoW dungeon guide, and I would study everything. And you know, it was just fun making my way up from a scrub and going all the way up to the high tier mythics. That felt like a real achievement. Nap says pose. Lim says your reaction to the background music switch is priceless. Yeah, that really caught me by surprise. I wasn't like I'm not wearing headphones, as you guys can see, so I've got the speakers over there, so I can't put it too loud. But I started hearing rock music and it coming through. I'm like, what the hell is that? So that's pretty funny. Okay, anyway, Moonbrita says, by the 12, you're alive. I mean, of course you're alive. Why wouldn't you be? Right? So we stopped Shiva. Oh, nothing happened. Oh, Iceheart did what? And you're sure about that, are you? Dravanians are skilled with glamours after all. Look, if you say that's what you saw, I believe you. It's just that I've never heard of a primal being summoned like that before. Are you sure you're not injured? Head trauma has been known to cause hallucinations, you see? No, fair enough. I was only asking. Okay, next step to the MSQ, and I'm sure I've got like 30 more quests to go. So, I'm just going to lay it out there. Hopefully by next weekend, it's going to be the expansion. I just want to move on to the expansion already. These are weapons now. That is... Oh no, that's not a samurai weapon. These aren't for samurai, so... Yeah, whatever. Let's go ahead. If you ask me, there's not to be gained from mulling over the implications of your story in a freezing cold. Let's save it for the Rising Stones. Okay, let's go ahead and head back. Yeah, that was a really fun fight. So, you know, in the future, if I'm doing like roulettes or whatever and that trial comes up, I like it. It's just a little short though, right? Like that wasn't like 5 minutes. Okay, chat, where are we? Nab says, how come you're not using your finishers? That's a good question. I'm still reorienting myself after coming back to Final Fantasy for like away for 3 weeks. So I'm gonna have to relearn all my rotations again. And in that fight, as you saw, I was just panicking the shit out of it. I was just having fun. I was just button mashing basically. Buller says, what is this game's name? It's Final Fantasy XIV, A Realm Reborn, brother. That's the vanilla game. Although you may see Final Fantasy XIV online, depending on what region you're in. Lim says, into the title, yeah. Jared says, gotta love Shiva. Too many times have the primals been used for tools for expansion of territory and domain. I feel her pain from all the Final Fantasy games I've played. Oh, that's interesting. Jared says, gotta play Final Fantasy V on the Game Boy. You understand her pain where she was imprisoned and siphoning of their powers. That's some deep history of Shiva, which I don't know if I'll ever go back at. So yeah. The Dayron in chat. Hello, Dayron. He says, the Heavensward expansion was awesome. Which, again, I've been told so many times, which is why I'm making my way over there. Doing everything before Shadowbringers is out. Samurai says, music is so good. I second that. Reason to sub right there, anyone watching. Just listen. Samurai says, yeah, the trails are mostly easy mode now. The trials are mostly easy mode unless on the harder modes, but fun as hell. Yeah, the harder difficulty ones, I'm sure. Like, how many trials are there in this game? One of the things about Final Fantasy XIV, right, is because you're paying a subscription, so at least from covering Final Fantasy XIV in my daily work, which is I write about MMOs on news sites and everything, so I get to see the constant stream of Final Fantasy XIV news and updates and what content's coming and which game or game creator they're going to be collaborating with for a free event and all these little parties and events, and there's always a constant stream of content coming out. So I think over the years there've been so many, like, free trials, and by what trials I mean raid, and group content that's out, that there's just a lot to go through. And I don't know the exact number, so. And I don't know if I'm going to be doing them all, because as somebody pointed out earlier, I had skipped a bunch of dungeon unlock quests. So I have to go back and then unlock all the other dungeons in the game and go do those. I just came in here without even looking at my quest objective. I'm supposed to speak to Alphinod. I completely messed up. Let's go back out. I just came back in here expecting to get a debrief from somebody here. Jared says, this definitely harkens to the story mechanics of Final Fantasy V from the Game Boy, where primals need avatar/anchor. Lots of interesting history there. Just give me a sec. Where are you, bro? Alphinot, White Brim Front. He is there. Right there. So I'm gonna go take Dragonhead. Bring back the in chat. We have Tyler in chat. Hello, Tyler. He says, hi, Adrian. Glad to catch you streaming again. It's been a while. Welcome to the stream, Tyler. Good to have you here. And yeah, glad you can catch the stream. It's been a while indeed. 3 weeks. I said I was gonna continue like right the next week, and then of course work happened. And I've got funny stories of that. Like, see, I'm a big Game of Thrones fan, and I'm just making a video, I think, this morning about one of those Game of Thrones games that I've been reviewing, and I've been playing that heavily. I've been playing Division 2 for a review as well, pretty heavily. So all these work stuff is taking precious time away that I need to use to catch up with Final Fantasy XIV. I need to finish 8.1 in WoW, Ties of Vengeance. I still haven't done it to the end, and 8.2 is going to come soon, so I need a lot of time to catch up with this game, just in time for my own personal reviews when these, updates or expansions come out. So I will, I suppose, try my best to stream again next weekend, and hopefully, like I said earlier, hopefully we'll be at the Heavensward expansion. Then we can have some real fun. Jared says, oh no, Graspy. We got a Graspy and shit. Hello, Graspy. It says, the Land Rover server looks like it's been updated. The Land Rover server? Lost me there. Jared says, I'm so upset I'm not playing this. Final Fantasy story so epic and loving. Yeah, so jump in, man. There's no rush, obviously, but there is that XP event I was talking about. So if you start now, you'll have a major XP buff that'll take you right up to the top where majority of the player base is. But even if that's not the case, I'm sure there's lots of newbies and new players running around too that will make the early levels enjoyable. Napgiver says, blue quests are important. It always unlocks something. Keep that in mind. I do know that from the reviewing that 2 years ago. It's just that my priority is to get the story done. That's what I value the most right now. Because when I jump into Shadowbringers, if I don't know the story, there's no point in me being there. So once I've got the story done, I'll look at what is necessary that I want to unlock, and then I'll go back and unlock. Well, that's my plan anyway. Lim says Final Fantasy XIV has lots of references to previous Final Fantasy series. So basically, it's just this it's this hot pot where Final Fantasy people just come together and enjoy this game online, and throw all the trivias and references. And I can see why this is such a popular game for people that grew up on Final Fantasy games. The same way that WoW is for those who grew up on the World of Warcraft, the Warcraft strategy games. And they re-released that, of course, Warcraft 1 and 2 on GOG, which is nice. I need to pick that up. We got Yusuf in chat. It says, so this is live. Why is it not live? Do you see a red button down there that says live? If you see that red button, then yes, I'm live. If you don't see it, then I must have disconnected or I'm offline. Tyler says the Division 2 looks really good. I've been meaning to check it out for a while. Excellent. Fucking fantastic. So fantastic. I actually bought a Division 2 t-shirt. It's one of the best games of the year for me, at least. Because I played a little bit of Division 1, the first one, before Division 2 came out, because I wanted to know what the story was. I wanted to understand the differences between 1 and 2, having played the beta for 2. And then when 2 dropped, I just lost it. Like, I spent almost 2 weeks in a game. I've got over 150 hours now in Division 2, and I just love it. It's a great game. People ask me all the time, better than Anthem? Yes, I have to say, way better than Anthem. Division 2 is awesome. Jared says, I know I have all the Final Fantasy games except 13 and obviously 14. Lim says, focusing on MSQ quests is fine. And speaking of which, I'm just going to continue this real quick. Let's just get this over with. There she is, and none of the worse for wear. Was there any doubt that the Warrior of Light would succeed? I think I speak for all of us when I say that I should like nothing more than to hear the story tale of your victory, if you'd be so kind. So here I am going to move my hands again. Yep, there we go. I've gotten so used to that. That's the default way of my character explaining how events went down. Then we were too late. But not too late to prevent further loss of life. An outcome worthy of celebration. And one for which we have Havelwyn to thank. Which is my character's name, Havelwyn. All my male characters are Havel or Havelheim. And my female characters are either Havelwyn or Teyana. I, for one, could not have wished for a better outcome. Shiva is no longer a threat, and the heretics have been routed. Aye, there is a matter of Iceheart's escape, but she cannot run forever. And, you know, that little confrontation that we had at the end, it doesn't sound like Iceheart is a bad, like a villain, like a true villain. I mean, whatever exchange we had where she was talking about, don't waste a mother's gift or whatever, I think that's like a sign. I don't think we've seen the last of Iceheart. At least that's just the feeling I get. I take it there are some self-same supplies. Less the crystals which compromise the bulk of the shipment. Yes, scarcely a fraction. Oh yeah, this whole story arc happened because one of their Etherite crystal shipments got sabotaged, so... Guess we're heading back to Dragonheart. Let's go. Okay. Yeah, you'll notice how easy it is for me to just open the quest tracker, see the map, look for that Etherite, and just port. That's one of the best things ever, because when I came back after 2 years, I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna have to ride all the way from A to B, and then I realized, you know, I've got all these gil, which is the currency, the in-game currency. I'm just like, I'll just port around. I couldn't care. I've seen all these vanilla landscapes while I was questing in the early levels. I didn't see it again. Once is enough. It's just the same, like if somebody told you, would you go back and re-level in some of the long MMOs, the old school MMOs where you have almost like 20 zones and 100 levels, and I'm like, I don't think so. Even now, like if I've leveled 2 characters in WoW the whole way, if somebody asked me to level a 3rd, I don't think I can do it. Alright, before I talk to this guy, let's check in the chat real quick. Garshby says, Abdang gets 100 ask 100 times per stream. What server is on? Oh, Andang. Yeah. Yeah, that happens to him a lot. He's like a superstar. Yuki says, Shadowbringers, bring NG+. We got builds. Yeah, builds in chat says, JRM, do you prefer Final Fantasy 14 or WoW? What's with these questions, man? What's with these questions? I prefer MMORPGs. That's my honest answer. You know, other YouTubers, they love doing this thing where hate that game, love this game, hate that, love this. I couldn't care less. I like MMORPGs in general. This is my favorite genre. You'd find me playing all kinds of MMOs because this is the style of game that I enjoy. So my answer is both. I prefer MMOs as a whole. If you ask me to play ESO tomorrow, I'll play ESO tomorrow. I've got a max character there. You ask me to play Guild Wars 2 the day after, I'll play Guild Wars 2. I've got a max character there. The top 5 MMOs, I've got max characters. And I play them regularly. So, you know, I don't have an answer to questions like that. Which one do I personally prefer? I prefer all of them. Sure, there are things that some do better than others. I acknowledge that. But, yeah, that's a real tough question. Like, both. I like both. Sorry to disappoint if you're looking for like a juicy, dramatic answer. I don't have one. I love MMOs across the board. Even shitty games like Blast Online, people are like, why do you play? Why do you play it? I'm like, screw it. I play it to inform people of what's good, what's bad, what are the mechanics, you know, those kind of things. I guess my tolerance level is pretty high, higher than most. Neb says you can't ask him that until at least Heavensward is done. Which is, I guess it's a good point. I need to get to the current expansion, you know, before I have a proper say in where the state of Final Fantasy is for me, at least. Lim says you're live, no issues. That's great to hear. And Tyler says Final Fantasy 14 looks great. Looks like a great game. I would consider subscribing, but I'm not sure I'd be able to catch up to the end game players at this point. Which is also a good point. I mean, if you have the money, and if you don't care about story, you could buy one of the story skip potions and the insta boost level up to get you right to where the endgame players are. I don't recommend it, but if you have friends already there, then you may as well pay the money and catch up. Okay, so we're still talking about entering Iceheart's lair, and then engaging the abomination in mortal combat by the Fury. This is the stuff of ballads, a battle for the ages. Would that I had been there to fight by your side. Please. Yet here I was forced to wait, condemned to wonder at the fate of a dear friend. Dear friend, we're friends now. I couldn't stand this guy back a couple of weeks ago. I can't remember what it was, but I didn't like him. But you are here now, and that is what truly matters. So Aimric wished to have words with you and Master Alphanot in private. He awaits us in the intercessory. Okay, let's go. The road less traveled, right? I'm just gonna do a quick look at the cheat sheet here. The road less traveled. I am 3 quests away from patch 2.5, and then there's like 7 quests there, and then patch 2.55, and that's the last stretch. That's the last, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So I've got like 21 quests left to go before I can hit the expansion, guys. So yeah, I'm definitely not gonna get it done tonight, but the good news is hopefully next week. I say that loosely. I don't want to promise anything because every time I set a date, yeah, I'm screwed tomorrow, and then you know my boss, my client calls and is like, I need a review for this shitty web browser game. And I'm like, fuck. So, no promises, no set dates, that's for sure. Greetings, madam. I shall show you in at once. Let's go. Lim says to Tyler, catching up is no issue. The game has loads of features that helps with leveling. Unless you don't care for experiencing the story, you could get a skip potion.
On
Watch
behalf
cutscene.
of the Holy See of Ishgard, allow me to express my deepest thanks. Never before have we been required to contend with a primal. Indeed, there were fears in some quarters that our knights might not be equal to the task. From what we have now learned of these beings, I can say with certainty that we would have lost a great many men had the Scions not intervened.
Then the argument for preemptive action should be self-evident. Perchance now you will reconsider my proposal that Ishgard move against Natalan.
Ere we first met, a similar proposal was tabled, but the Holy See decreed that we were to observe, and that military action should be taken only in self-defense. All things considered, it was not an unreasonable decision. Since the calamity, 2 vigils have fallen to the Horde, while Garuda has never shown any inclination to storm the gates of judgment. Which is why this unprecedented crisis and its resolution may prompt a change in policy. You who have faced these primals know well the threat they pose. Ishgard did not. Not until now. And there is naught like a brush with death to change a man's outlook.
At the very least, this should silence any lingering objections to our arrangement with Revenant's Toll. The Holy See may even feel moved to grant us its formal endorsement.
So far as it is possible, the Scions shall be compensated for their service.
We should be grateful for any aid you can provide.
As a gesture of good faith, I shall withdraw my previous request. Your people are doubtless needed elsewhere.
That will not be necessary. We, too, have a vested interest in watching Dravania's movements.
I see. Once more, I must thank you.
Sir Emmerich, if I may, do you truly believe that Midgard-Zoma could return?
The heavens are a window unto truth, but those who interpret their movements are not infallible. I requested your involvement as a precautionary measure.
But of course, you sought an excuse to compensate us from the first, mindful of what would happen if Revenant's Toll were taken by your enemies. Ishgard is not wont to aid its neighbors, but that does not preclude it from manipulating them to serve its own interests.
Choose your next words carefully.
Do you know what sort of man becomes Lord Commander of the Temple Knights? One who comes from good stock. I did not. Yet here I am now. Why do you suppose that is? Because I swiftly learnt to tell the difference between words, deeds, and beliefs. You are correct, Master Leveilleur. Ishgard desires to see Revenant's Toll flourish, as it would present a troublesome obstacle to our enemies from the south.
We are so glad to be of use to you.
As we are to you. Ours is a mutually beneficial arrangement, lest we forget, one born of necessity. The dragons grow more restless by the day, and the heretics harry us nigh without cease. We have contended with such troubles for centuries, but there are limits to even our endurance. Yet as a pauper is loath to part with his meager possessions, the leaders of Ishgard are not wont to render up their trust to outsiders. But with perseverance on our part, they may yet be made to see the light. Nevertheless, one must take care when walking the road less traveled.
Wise words, Sir Emmerich. I shall make a point to remember them. I must apologize for my earlier outburst. I hope it will not sour our good relations.
Not at all. You but spoke from the heart. I trust you understand that at times my duties may prevent me from meeting with you. On such occasions, my second-in-command will speak for me.
Lucia, at your service. Pray excuse our reticence. We are but wary of speaking too freely, lest our sentiments be made known to our enemies. Know that the Lord Commander and I are of one mind. For the sake of Ishgard, and of Eorzea at large, I pray our peoples can put aside their differences. Those who dwell in the past risk losing sight of their future.
Should aught befall one of our shipments, pray inform Lucia immediately. You may also relay to her any words you might have for me alone. Not being of Ishgardian birth, she owes no allegiance to any noble house, making her as near to incorruptible as one can find in my homeland. Suffice it to say, I trust her completely, and so may you. Which reminds me, Lord Orchefort, if you would be so kind?
Certainly.
There's a lot going on in the scene.
In times such as these, trust is ever in short supply. Mayhap this will go some way to rectify the problem. The results of our investigation into the heretics' recent attacks, as well as our interrogation of the merchant you detained.
Sir Emmerich, I cannot thank you enough.
Think nothing of it. Ishgard may be many things, but it is no friend to Garlemald.
Did I not tell you to have faith, my friend?
I need to watch that again afterwards. Okay, let's see. Anything for a samurai? No. Alright, chat. Let's see where we're at. Yeah, lots of exposition to soak in there, which is always great. Oh, look at this. I like this guy has like a top hat and everything. That's pretty cute. Okay, where are we in chat? Lim says, oh, I read that already. Neb says, you can take your time catching up. Final Fantasy XIV doesn't make you rush to the end game, which is true. And I wish more MMOs sort of build a game around that, you know, so you slowly build up and then you can worry about end game stuff, but still give you a taste of what's coming later during the mid game and the early game, just to give, you know, players some sort of an idea of what to expect at end game. Anyway, real quickly, I missed calling that out. Tove Ervik subscribed to the channel about 4 minutes ago. Thank you, Tove, if you're still here, either from the stream or from one of my other videos. Thank you very much. Appreciate the support. Lim says to Tyler, the thing is that the later expansions have better content because the developers learn from their past mistakes, as all MMO developers should really do. I mean, the more expansions you do, the more, you know, you hear feedback and understand player footfall, what makes them come, what makes them stay, what makes them leave. You know, the content should get better and evolve better over time. I've played a bunch of MMOs that do that effectively. I've played a bunch that don't do that effectively. So, yeah, Jared says, story's big for me. Oh, hang on. Nap says, I don't understand why they lock Eureka for endgame. I think it should be available from the start, since it's just another instanced-based system where you start at level 1. Jared says, story's big for me in MMOs. Same here. I was with Warcraft almost 10 years, but after Cataclysm, with story, character revamps, and queue systems made it unbearable, people stop questing and exploring. That's sad to hear. Ace Annoying says, tiny head, big body. Oh, the lieutenant back in the cutscene. That's the first thing that came to my mind too. Jared says, Age of Conan really had me deeply rooted because it kept to the core, gave respects to Robert E. Howard, who's the creator, of course. Tyler says, thanks for the info. That's definitely good to hear. Jared says, Final Fantasy has not lost its core, and I banged my head for not giving them the chance when I was looking for an MMO. Got swept up in the hype for Star Wars, Terra Rift, and Guild Wars 2. Never too late, man. So next up, Ice Clouded. Let's go celebrate. Let's go. It would seem we have much to discuss with our friends at the Rising Stones. If what you say is true, Iceheart's method of summoning Shiva defies all precedent. It necessitates a complete reappraisal of the primal threat. Moreover, there are grave ramifications if word of this incident reaches Imperial ears. The Garlean Empire believes that primals are an insufferable menace, and that their mere existence is a threat to this very star. As such, they deem any action taken against the Beast Tribes to be justified. So, imagine them if it became known that it was not only the Beast Tribes of Eorzea that could summon primals, but her civilized people as well. Any lingering objections? Which makes sense. I mean, when you figure out that on the other side of the continent, everybody could just call down destructive deities off, you know, your neighbors, the Garleans, are going to be like, yeah, we need to invade that piece of shit and shut the system down. So I guess that makes sense. Where before we had to contend with a single Imperial Legion, we could well find ourselves facing combined might of all Garlemald. And I would like to see that. I'd like to see an all-out war, and I wonder if any of these expansions would do that. But I speak unadvisedly. Come! It is better that we continue this in Mor Dhona. Yes, let's go back. Alright, let's check in chat some more. Lim says to Nep they wanted to do something different for the Relic Anima weapons, endgame weapons for each expansion. Which is things I don't know about. I have no idea what awaits me when it comes to like endgame expansion features, so lots to learn. And hopefully the time to do it. Which is, you know, rather interesting too. Like if you just for those in chat that not only Final Fantasy players but MMO players in general, this year we have a crap ton of stuff coming out. Summer, we have 2 expansions, of course. We have Elder Scrolls Online with the Elsewhere chapter. We have Final Fantasy XIV with Shadowbringers. This month we've got Neverwinter, Undermount expansion. 8.2 for WoW. It's not an expansion, but the patch is big enough to be like a micro expansion because of the amount of depth it's going to be bringing. And then in the near winter, September, we've got Star Wars The Old Republic's expansion. So this is looking like it's going to be a good year for MMOs. I think all the major players have expansions coming out. Some of the minor ones too. It's a good time. I was about to say it's a good time for, you know, if you play all the MMOs I just listed out, then it's going to be a great time jumping between them and playing all the new content. But everybody else outside of MMOs will tell you that the MMORPG genre is dying, which is I keep hearing a lot. Like I was hearing a lot last year. A lot of people with their videos why MMOs are dying. And I'm like, sure. And this year I keep hearing a lot too. So, you know, my wish is just
words cannot
it goes
well
on and on.
express how glad I am to see you return to us hale and whole.
I would have used hale and hearty.
Needless to say, I am most eager to hear your account of that which occurred in Kurthis, assuming you're ready to speak of it.
Yes, watch my hands. The hands,
Excellent.
Come on. Oh.
I shall summon the others at once.
I'm going to tell it to everybody? Great. I wish they would give me dialogue options where I can pick what I want to say, instead of just that, where I'm just moving my hands and I'm not hearing my own explanations.
Iceheart used her own body as a vessel for a primal soul?
Master Louisoir's writings make no mention of such a possibility. Can we be certain this entity was a primal?
As certain as we can be that good King Mogglmog XII was a primal, I should think. Both were ostensibly summoned.
Let's not quibble over definitions. Of more concern is the implication that Iceheart retained her will, even after she was possessed. We are talking about a mortal, wielding the power of a primal.
It can't possibly be that easy, can it? There must be some sort of sacrifice required. Or maybe she's just special?
What qualities this woman possesseth, I know not. But full sure am I that she was groomed for this role. Few are privy to the secrets of summoning, and but a single party standeth to profit from their dissemination.
Well, I wouldn't presume to comment on how the lass came to know about summoning, but I will say that what she summoned was a primal. The readings were the same, or near as damn it. Strange as it all sounds, it's really no different from what you've faced before.
Then mayhap it is time that we re-examined our previous encounters.
What? You gonna make me go back and do all the other fights?
Pack your things, Ida. We're going back to Gridania.
Oh, Gridania.
Yes, sir.
About Iceheart's final words to you. Hear, feel, think. Hydaelyn speaks to her as well.
She mentioned mother.
If Iceheart is blessed with the power of the Echo, she will doubtless have used it to further her goals. Or could it be that it was a revelation granted her by the Echo which first set her on this path?
Ooh, thank you, Jamar Henry.
She did
Thanks
say
for
that
sub.
the
Appreciate
Ishgardians
it.
were blind to the truth. Do you think she has knowledge of the origins of the Ishgardian-Dravanian War?
That's what I was going to go for. I wonder if like
her unwavering conviction.
we're on the same side for the upcoming expansion.
Did not the Lady Iceheart implore thee to seek the Keeper of the Lake? And did she not imply that in so doing thou wouldst come to see with eyes unclouded?
Midgard Zoma was a king amongst kings who reigned for centuries on end. But he is dead and his wisdom lost to the ages. Unless the Ishgardian's fears are well-founded. It would seem we have yet another reason to stand watch over the Keeper of the Lake. For a mercy, we are well positioned to do so. Iceheart, Shiva, Ascians, and Midgard Zoma. I shudder to think how they're all connected.
Okay. Samurai. Nope, these are all mage casting stuff. Let's check it in chat real quick. Lim says, crazy amount of time needed to clear those. Alas, my focus will be on 2 expansions this year, Final Fantasy XIV and Monster Hunter World. Nice. How is Monster Hunter World? Is that still going? The last article I wrote for Monster Hunter World was about the Witcher promo, where they made the Gerald of Rivia come over and another companion, and there was like a mini quest too, which I thought was kind of cool. The Witcher and Monster Hunter World. So yeah, I mean, for Final Fantasy XIV, I mean, like way back when I was playing Lotro, when a new expansion came out, I'd spend like 2 months in it, just exploring every nook and cranny and doing every side quest. These days, I still do that after I take my first character through on sort of like a story speed run, so I don't end up spoiling things or for myself, or having things spoiled for me by not getting the expansion done beforehand. An example of that would be like games like Guild Wars 2, where you have to get the story done first and then go back and do the achievements, because it's just that sort of game. Whereas in other slower paced MMOs, you can take your time through the expansion. These days, like Elder Scrolls, I can get a new chapter done in about 5 days, really. Once you understand the pacing of Elder Scrolls Online. Guild Wars 2 still takes a longer time. Path of Fire took me a week and a half, really. For Warcraft, BFA took me quite some time because I was enjoying the experience. That was my first Warcraft expansion that I played at launch, period, and that was pretty fun. Even though a lot of people didn't like BFA, especially the veterans, you know, they were like, oh, blah, 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 blah. It was my first, and I still enjoyed it. I think it's pretty fun. Slowest expansion, I guess Lord of the Rings. Everything, Mordor, the last expansion for Lotro was called Mordor, and it was the end, right? The destruction of the One Ring, going past the Black Gate, and learning about the peoples that were serving or were slaves to Sauron and his army behind the Black Gate. I took 1 year to finish the expansion, so I played for like a month. I gave up on it. I stopped playing for like 9 months or whatever, and I came back and finished it. It was just such a slog trying to finish the more expansions, so that's the longest I've taken. This year, you know, in the interest of getting the reviews out, I gotta set myself goals, you know, so I've gotta finish an expansion in about a week maximum, and get it done, get the review out. Okay, so we're gonna scour for knowledge of the Midgard Summer. Given his great age, I dare say he appears in more than a few. Oh, do you hear that? A commotion outside. Let's go check it out. What's happening outside? Nep says, to be honest, I hate being a mute protagonist. Yes, finally, thank you. Somebody brought that up. I'm not a big fan of staying silent in MMORPGs or video games. When I'm playing by myself, usually if I have to pick responses and I'm not voiced, then in my head I'm actually reading it out. Like Elder Scrolls, for example, your character doesn't speak, but when you talk in dialogue or whatever, they give you some sort of answers, right? And I'll just click that and I'll read that out. Games like Star Wars and Guild Wars 2, for example, 2 MMOs where your main character is voiced by somebody. Star Wars, you can pick between an American voice actor or a British voice actor, so you have some choice there. Whereas in Guild Wars 2, it's all set for you; you don't have a choice. I can get used to hearing my main character being voiced by somebody else, but if it's silent, it just opens up interpretation. I'll just have to do it in my head, you know? It's a weird thing, but I'd rather have my main characters voiced. What about you guys? What do you guys feel about that? Those of you that play MMOs, would you prefer your main character to have to be, you know, vocal, or keep quiet, just silent? Okay, this well that you're in hand. We have a problem. Royal has escaped. Right, so knew something bad with her was going to happen. It happened shortly after the Immortal Flames took her into custody. She had been placed in a dungeon cell, but apparently the accommodation was not to her liking. The turnkey was found slain along with 2 guards. She had inside help. Oh, it must be that little bastard. The what's his name? The kind of like the master of coin for Ul'dah, that sneaky bastard. I can't remember her name. Anyway, she makes for Castrum Meridianum. I'm certain of it. Her fate in Eorzea, as good as sealed. What recourse has she but to flee to her imperial masters? Even as we speak, Captain Aelbert and the first are hot upon Royale's heels. Captain Bullfrog, huh? Guess that's where we're going. Northern Thanalan. I'll get out of here before I board over. Oh, my back is killing me. This chair, even after a year, has not broken in. Like, you know, when you buy a gaming chair, you gotta use it often enough that it breaks in and becomes to a point where it's comfortable. Like a pillow, like a really hard pillow or a bolster. But this one just doesn't. It's like so hard. My ass is starting to hurt. Right there. Okay, let's check it in chat some more. Tyler says the new Star Wars The Old Republic expansion looks awesome. I haven't played the game for a long time. There were a lot of changes made recently that I didn't agree with, but I might come back to the game just for that. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to the expansion. I honestly thought the expansion would come out sooner, like during the Star Wars celebration that's going on right now. You know, May the 4th is always a good time to release a Star Wars expansion. But I guess it makes sense, you know, because toward the end of this year, there's going to be a lot of Star Wars hype. We have the new game by EA. What is it called? Jedi. Bastard. The new Star Wars game, basically single player, no multiplayer, no microtransactions. Seems like it's gonna have an interesting story, and yeah, and then around the same time you got Star Wars expansion for SWTOR, and then the movie comes out. So it makes sense for them to push the expansion back and let them work on the features, because I think Star Wars needs a lot of work. And if they need the time until September to do it, then so be it. But I'm looking forward to it. Jared says, wow, they are truly bringing the elements of the Game Boy story arcs, and it was shown by the lineage of the kings. Huh, I didn't know that. Grashby says, that one guy in this cutscene does the voice of the Blood Elf leader in Warcraft. Oh, I didn't know that either. I can't place his accent. Jared says, question, do the legendary weapons from the GB story arcs are in the game? Unfortunately, I don't know, Jared. Hopefully somebody in the chat knows about that. Lim says, yeah, Monster Hunter World PC is definitely catching up with the console updates. Lots of players are still on the hunt. The Witcher crossover is coming next month. I can't wait. Oh, it's not out yet, huh? Yeah. Yeah, that's gonna be a fun one. I mean, that's actually pretty cool, because usually, like with Final Fantasy, like 14 here, you'd see Japanese x Japanese. So you'll see like a Japanese game crossover, not a Japanese game kind of thing. But I think The Witcher is one of the first ones where it's a European game, because it's you know, CD Projekt Red, or Project CD Red. Wait, I got that mixed up. Whatever, you know the studio behind The Witcher. So you know, your European versus Japanese. It's a crossover. It's one of the East meets West mashup. That's why I think it's pretty unique. Acer says, after playing Star Wars: The Old Republic, just can't play an MMO without having a voice. Yeah, I think that's kind of why. You know, I play a lot of games where stuff like that spoil it for me. Take, for example, single-player games, Dragon Age 1 to Inquisition. All of them are voiced, and I'm so used to having that sort of a, you know, voice acting for my own character. And one of the things that helped is, for some freaking reason, the answers, the dialogues, the choice, the tone of how they would say my responses have been pretty much spot on, you know? So it's like, I've got no issues. I especially love, like, for me, the Sith warrior, the male warrior, the Brit guy. I just love him. His responses, his tone, the delivery of certain lines. I just like that, and I can't play without it, honestly. Yuki says there's like 12 voice options for each race and gender, so the amount of work required for voice dialogue is massive. I hear you, I hear. And to be a cost, it's also costly, because believe it or not, voice acting for video games is not cheap. And over the years, because they're so, you know, in the past 20 years, let's say, voice actors, you could hire them cheap. And the problem with that is all the up-and-coming ones will take multiple jobs and then they get good and they build a name for themselves. And now, 20 years later, they have such an awesome portfolio that they become so popular. You know, Nolan North and what's the other guy? All the other popular voice actors, they cost a lot of money. So you either have to go look for unknowns or, you know, people out of school or freelancers like myself to record stuff. I'm not sure if you know this. Go watch my Blast Online leveling stream part 1. The first leveling stream. Every NPC that was voiced sounded like it was recorded in a bathroom. I am not shitting you. That was the quality of the voice acting in Blast Online, and I was like, no way. You guys did not just skimp over, you know, paying for good voice actors. It just sounded very amateurish, and like people just recorded at home in their rooms or whatever and sent it to Neowiz and they used it. That was really disappointing. But yeah, I get your point, Yuki. It's expensive. It's an expensive thing. We got Huang in chat says Jedi Fallen Order. Thank you. That's the name of the new game that's coming out that I'm very excited for. Acer9 says Star Wars The Old Republic set the bar very high. I mean, I liked it when Stormblood. My mad respect, honestly, for me, because all the NPCs, every side quest was voice acted, and that was the standard until ESO came out and just, you know, swept swords under the rug. I'm sorry, but ESO has way more NPCs, way more side quests, and everything in ESO is freaking voiced. So I got spoiled there, except the main character, unfortunately. And that one I can forgive, because Elder Scrolls games since the beginning of time has never given your character a voice, so you don't have a choice there. Tyler says to Acer, agreed, the storytelling styles of Star Wars and Guild Wars 2 have really made it hard for me to go back to other MMOs. And Jared says, I do not mind the voice phrases like Warcraft had, but my character I like muted. Belor shall... I've heard that somewhere. That's a WoW thing, right? Belor shall know, or something like that. One of those skills, I can't remember, but I've heard that somewhere. Okay, anyway, it's 12 in the morning, guys. It's 12 o'clock. I'm gonna do one last quest pass here, and then I'm gonna head off. So let's go ahead and talk this one. Mike, thanks for coming, Scion. I've spoken with the soldiers here. They say that Roel walked through the camp not a bell ago. You guys let her escape, and now you're out here expecting me to catch her again. Ugh. Aye, she walked right through. You did not miss here. We have Raubon's decision to keep the matter secret to thank for that. Bad for morale, he said. As a result, not a single flame in the garrison made any attempt to detain her, and so we're here. See how they just covered it up? Okay, let's go find her then. Let's do this. Processing blunt. Or is that... Grab there. Oh, I could just... Why not? Jared says, Age of Conan, fully voiced for the first 25 levels, better set the bar. I remember that going through, you know, I gotta say, the first thing that I loved about Age of Conan, when I was playing it, and I got to a point where I was doing a dungeon solo, whatever, and I was fighting this NPC, and I knew I was gonna die, because I didn't have any potions, and I knew my gear was bad, and I knew it was under level, so I expected to just get killed, and just die on the floor, or whatever. The NPC beheaded me right in front of me, like literally, like, you know when you die on the landscape in some MMOs, you're like, ugh, and you just fall down. In Age of Conan, for those that haven't played it or are too young to play it, or you know, you guys haven't played that yet, NPCs, when you die, they behead you and you actually see your head coming off, and it's a gory game full of violence and blood, and there's nudity as well because it's Age of Conan. And that was like a shocker. I'm like, holy shit, what just happened? And yeah, that's kind of cool for Age of Conan. Besides, of course, what Jared was saying with the first 25 levels of voice acting, whatever. I just like the violence. You know, that's one of those MMOs. Some MMOs give you different things. atmosphere and Lovecraft stuff, I go to Secret World. You know, you want violence, you can check out Age of Conan. Oh shoot, what happened here? Talking about violence. I guess this was her doing. Duty calls, comments, battle for a what is this? Well, let's just proceed. Let's see what happens. I'll do this and I'll head to bed. It's 12:06 in the morning. Jared says, Cinderai phrase. There we go. I thought so. I knew I heard it from somewhere. Tyler says, haha, it's 12 noon here. Yeah, so you must be in what, New York? I know EST's 12 hours ahead of where I am. I'm in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. So it's 12 in the morning here. So I know New York is about 12 a.m. 12 p.m., sorry. Nep says, you probably haven't noticed but in Final Fantasy 14, if you say something in chat and look at your character's mouth, they will move your mouth. No. No, I did not know that. No, I did not. I'm going to try that. Like, I can't do it now. I'm in the middle of a cutscene. Okay, hang on. Let's get rid of this shit, and then I'll try that out. Okay, that's actually pretty cool. Okay, let's get rid of all these cohorts. The one thing I would like, even for games like Guild Wars 2 and Final Fantasy 14, is being able to use add-ons. And I know it's a very sketchy subject, add-ons, because, you know, it's third-party and a large company like Square Enix. You know, sometimes, you know, they can be draconian with that kind of stuff. Like, if you use one of your game trailers, for example, an expansion trailer, you'll get a copyright strike, and, you know, they're kind of hardcore like that. So I'm guessing with third-party stuff, you're not going to escape with that too. So it's kind of unfortunate, because for me, I love having my add-ons and plugins, I suppose is what you guys may know them as. You know, having like a buff bar, or being able to customize my layout with different skins or things like that. I know Final Fantasy 14 doesn't have that, and Guild Wars 2 doesn't have that. Star Wars, can Star Wars have add-ons? I'm not too sure. But either way, I wish more MMOs in the future would just let us do what we want, you know? And the creators of some of these add-ons, they make great money. Like, because of the rise of things like Patreon and, you know, PayPal. And because in the past, when you make a great add-on for, like, WoW, for example, you know, people use it, but for the creators, the appreciation is simply in the fact that people are using your add-on and spreads by word, and, you know, now there's, like, this add-on has like 1 million downloads or whatever. But in the old days, that was it. It was just recognition. You didn't get like sort of monetary value or appreciation for your work. But these days you can. I'll just use that. I want to see what some of these skills do. I guess this is a great time to experiment with some of my samurai skills. Some massive AoE there. Colossus need to go. Oh, I see. They just keep coming. We get rid of this Colossus. Die, Eileen. She's not dying. Holy crap! How many are you gonna summon here? I've got 25 minutes to do this. And all my guys are, at least my allies are about to go. I'm gonna focus the big guys first. So anyway, while I'm battling these guys... Oh, get out of that. I forgot my question. It was something about add-ons. I'm a little occupied at the moment. think she's the key. I just can't kill her right now. I just want to die. I guess you can't cheat. You can't just focus fire her. You gotta get rid of the ads too. Gotcha. Gasp. Pant. Bind her and do it tight. Yes, sir. Good work, men. She and her Imperial cronies pushed us close, but we were, yeah, it did push us close. Behold, a respected officer of the Immortal Flames. People looked up to you as one of the Order's founding members, one of its pillars. It saddens me to see you fallen so low. Snort. What would you know of low? You, a spoilt little lordling who has never known any talent. Was it talent? People such as you take wealth and birth for granted. You think it God's given right to rule over others. You know not of our plight, the injustice that we lowborn Ishgardians... Ah! She's an Ishgardian, of course. I did what I had to do to survive, stealing, killing, even whoring myself. It is no fault of mine if fools imagine me a paragon when I join the Flames. We're charting into Game of Thrones territory here. To hear you tell it, one would think you're the only person who has ever suffered. In case you've forgotten, Robot himself was born into poverty, as was I, who lived hand to mouth with little more than shirts on our backs. Hunger was a constant companion. Yet never did we bemoan our lot in life, nor did we begrudge others and their fortunes. We accepted the hand that we've been dealt and played it to the best of our ability. Life was a battle, aye, but no matter what fate threw at us, we took it on the chin and came back for more. Everything we have, we fought for. Yeah, this is a great catch-up here, guys, but couldn't we move back to the cellars or somewhere? It's true that we're both mercenaries. Wait. I want to know the purpose for betraying us. Can we get to that instead? I would sooner cut off my arm. Enough of the sappy backstory here. But enough talk. You will return to Ul'dah, face justice and the people. I want to know why. I ask her why she betrayed us. Why? Oh, come on. I guess that's a tease for next week then. We'll figure out how this all leads into Ishgard and Heavensward. Okay, excellent. Let me check in chat real quick. Oh yeah, Nap. All right, Nap. You said that if I type something in chat, my character's mouth will move, right? So let's try that real quick. I'm gonna do that. Say. Let's go to the say channel, and let's say. Ayo. That's actually pretty cool. So if you're role playing with other people in front of you, and you guys are just saying things like "I am hungry," and you type it out, and she'll say "I am hungry." Do it again. That's actually pretty. Hang on. Did she just say "I am"? Did she mouth "I am hungry"? Or am I seeing things? I am hungry. I am hungry. Okay, let me do a hard. Let's see. You win, or you die. No, it's the same animation. No, it's just me being tired. I was imagining things. I thought she was exactly mouthing what I was typing. That would have been too hard and complex to code for an MMO. But that's cool, Nep. Thanks for that. Bueller says, what is the best looking MMORPG? Oh, ooh. For me, personally, oh, it's a tough one because see, I'm gonna go for the diplomatic answer again because I like a wide variety of aesthetics. I don't mind like Wildstar's uber cartoony stuff, rest in peace. Or I can go for something more guttural and visceral, like one of the Asian games, and everything in between. I guess if you're talking about flashiness, everything right down to, the environments and the textures and everything, I guess Black Desert will have to take the top cake there. in terms of what is the best overall looking MMO, from animations and, you know, when you can unlock your character's camera and you can do like overhead cam flybys, bird's eye flybys and everything, god cam. BDO lets you do that, and because of the way they sort of remastered their game, and now with the RTX graphics cards coming out and the way that, you know, they can pull power from the new cards and everything, it just makes the game look absolutely superb, I gotta say. So I'd say BDO. Black Desert Online for long, those that haven't heard of what BDO is. Tyler says Massachusetts, I hope I pronounced that right, NA Northeast. I have no idea where that is. Boston? Boston, Massachusetts? I can't even pronounce that. I'm not American. For those that don't know, I'm not American. I've never been to the US of A. So Cleveland, Ohio, I do know because of the Cleveland Cavaliers, and Ohio from a song called Ohio is for Lovers. Cool. Roll call. Where's everybody from? Let's do that in chat while we can, because I'm about to go. Tyler says, I can see both upsides and downsides with allowing us of the use of add-ons in a game. On one hand, it can really allow the player to customize the game exactly the way they want. Yep. Oh, we got Lady Irene chat. Hello. She says, that moment your name is on the screen ×3. Galileo. It wasn't my doing. I mean, that thing there beside my face there is the event ticker. So whenever somebody, I mean, that's more for Twitch and a bit of YouTube too. So if you sub to me on Twitch, then things happen. Or over here at YouTube, you'll see like a donate thing. Like, I mean, you guys don't have to do it, but you know, if you want to support the stream, whatever, you can click that donate link, and whenever you donate, then the name goes there. That's basically what that is, you know. I've left it there for God knows how long. Like, people have tipped me from God knows when, and you'll notice at the top there, you know, they're still there. So I just leave this stuff on because I do appreciate everything. So even if it's gonna be there for a year, then you guys have contributed to the channel. I'm just gonna leave you guys there for a year. So I appreciate that support. You guys are awesome. Galthor says also, hello, just a quick drop by while I wait for something, so I won't be here long. No worries, Galthrill, because I'm about to go to bed too. It's 12:18 in the morning, and it's Monday tomorrow, and which means I gotta... Game of Thrones is in the morning for me. For you guys, it's at night, right? So I gotta wake up nice and early and watch it over my cup of coffee. Can't wait for Game of Thrones. I'm excited. Tyler says, on the other hand, add-ons can give developers an excuse to be lazy and rely on add-ons. That is such a good point, and I'm going to call out ZeniMax Online Studios here, even though I'm a big fan of ES. So one of the trends that I noticed with ZeniMax is you'll notice that a lot of the newest updates to the game, like improvements to quality of life stuff, they have basically just took what add-on makers have made for ESO and implemented that into the game, which to me was kind of disappointing. Like the first time for me, when I heard of things like the wardrobe and the outfits and everything, players have already came up with that stuff, and what they've done is just take that and make it their own. Same thing with the latest one. You know, they've implemented the auction house system where you could search functionality, sort functionality by name functionality, and all these other functionalities they've just added to the game that somebody made an add-on for. It's called Awesome Guild Store, like many years ago, and they've basically just took that and put it in game. So I see what you're coming from, because these add-on makers have basically fixed things with the game, and just given, you know, the developers an easy way out, I suppose. So yeah, I do see your point. Jared says, loving the story, super epic of you for the live stream. Glad I subscribed and cannot wait to check out more content from you. Oh, thank you, Jared. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. You should see a lot more Final Fantasy the closer we get to Shadowbringers, of course, and all the other MMOs that I play that story. You know, Guild Wars 2 has episode 6 coming out. They've got a great story too, so I'll probably live stream some of that. Ace Renari says, I want to say ESO at 4K and using Sweet Effects. Of course, I'm not doing 4K. I can't afford 4K, unfortunately, but I can only imagine what it looks like. It's awesome. Graspy says, Ohio. We got a second Ohio. Tyler says, yep, Boston and MA. Lady Arya says, time to go. Thank you, Galthrill. See you. Thanks for dropping by. Ace Renari says, Florida. Nice. Hello to Florida. And Graspy says, peace out, peeps. Yeah, okay, let me just turn this in real quick, and Not so much as a hint of remorse. 'Tis well that this sordid business is finally at an end. A friend's betrayal cuts deeper than steel. We must hope that we have chosen our own allies more wisely than Raubon chose his. It's pretty odd for Raubon. It's like a straight shooter, military kind of general, so I guess that's why you let this one slip past, I suppose. I'm gonna see if there's anything here that I can use. Nope. Oh, another cutscene. Hope this one's not like 10 minutes long. Oh, here we are.
Truly bothersome business. No, I do not foresee a problem on that front. The main concern is Raubon. There is no telling what the brute might do. Have the blades watch him in the flames day and night. You may leave the Sultana to me. I shall personally attend her grace.
Sounds like you're gonna attend a coup. A coup d'etat. Bastard. Can't stand his voice and his face.
Sever one of the East Aldenard trade routes. That ought to keep Lolorito occupied for a while.
These guys are in league with the Garleans, I suppose.
Nanamo ulnamo. For my sake, pray be a good little Sultana to the last.
Sounds like an assassination. Stay tuned, find out and know what happens next week. Actually, I'm kidding. I'm probably going to play this on my own time, and by the time next week's stream come around, I should be closer to wherever I stop, so. Okay, let's see. Tyler says, thanks for the stream, Adrian. Great job as always. Thank you, Tyler, and everybody here. Nap says, from Nepal and Canada. Awesome. Awesome. Truly global audience. This is why I love YouTube and I love streaming and just talking to everybody. So that's going to do it for me, you guys. Everybody that was here, thank you so much for chilling out and having fun watching me fail on my samurai and go through the story on my way to the Heavensward expansion. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and I've got more videos coming out as well. I've got one review for a Game of Thrones game that I just done. I've also jumped back into Albion Online, which obviously went free to play, and I've got a video coming out on that. Plus a bunch more that I don't want to talk about just yet because I'm still working out the kinks. Oh, I believe tonight, did we just pass 13,000 subs? Last I checked, I was at 1290 something. So if we did pass 13,000 subs, then you guys watching on stream, I just want to say thank you so much for being here whenever you discovered the channel. I appreciate the support, and you know, talking to you guys has been great. So I'll see you guys soon, alright? And Nap says, take care, bro. Enjoy the rest of the game. It gets awesome. I know it will, and I'll be here. And if I stop playing for any prolonged period, trust me, my sister will bug my ass to come back and do this, so I've got nowhere to run. Lim says, Godspeed. Can't wait to catch future streams. Oh, you'll see more of me, man. Don't worry about it. And I'll post my next stream on Discord, obviously. So if you're not on my Discord, join in, and we'll see each other there. So that's it from me, guys. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have a good week ahead. I'll see you all soon, right? Jeremy Adrian here. Wishing you a good night or good day, wherever you are in the world. Later, you guys.